Okay, it is 12:01, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and get started. So hello and welcome to today's CHES exam information webinar. My name is Jessica Wessner. I'm a staff member with NCHEC, which is also the National Commission for Health Education Credentialing. So the purpose of today is we're going to be talking about our CHES certification, which is a national credential that we offer specifically for health education specialists. But before we begin, I just wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping items to ensure we maximize our time together. So at the end of today's presentation, we're going to have time for some live Q&A where we'll answer your questions, but you can type them in at any time using the Q&A button as we go along. And then at the end, like I said, we'll devote some time for your questions. And we'll also provide contact information. So if anything doesn't get covered here today, please feel free to reach out to either Tanya or myself with your questions. You can email or call the office. Before we dive in, a brief introduction to our other presenter today, Tanya Cole. She's our CHES exam coordinator. Tanya reviews all CHES pre-screens and applications for eligibility. She'll be doing a lot of the presenting today and will be answering a lot of your questions during the Q&A. NCHEC's mission as a nonprofit organization is to enhance the professional practice of health education by promoting and sustaining a credentialed body of health education specialists. So how we do this is through developing and administering a national competency-based exam. So we develop standards for academic professional preparation. So in the classroom, we promote ongoing professional development through continuing education for those who do obtain our credential. So we're really all about and focused in on continued learning. Also, the CHES certification has been around for over 30 years of history, and it's validated by something called a National Job Analysis Study. And this is a study that's done periodically to make sure the exam base, the questions on the exam, really reflect what health education professionals are doing in a variety of job settings and roles across the whole country. And these studies are really important and part of keeping our credential valid and up to date. We're also nationally and internationally accredited. And these accreditations, they're kind of tough to get, and they're something that becomes really crucial in making sure that we are doing a good job and a fair job and a consistent job with these national certifications that we administer. So what is a CHES? A Certified Health Education Specialist, or a CHES, is an individual that has, number one, met academic eligibility. So they've completed a specific coursework emphasizing the 8 areas of responsibility of health education specialists. So your academic transcript, what you've completed, goes through an evaluation process for this eligibility. Next, you have to pass a fairly rigorous competency-based exam to show that you know what you've learned, and you maintain and add to your knowledge through continuing education. And basically that you really have an ongoing commitment to continued learning throughout your career, which is very important to your employer. It's important to the public, that you're staying up to date on all the current practices in the field. Another term you'll hear a lot about is CHES eligibility, if you're considering this credential. So eligibility for the CHES exam is based solely on academic qualifications and background. So an individual must have a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree from an accredited institution, and either one of the following: an official transcript that shows a major in health education, public health education, community health education, school health education, that type of major, or an official transcript that reflects a related major and also a minimum of 25 semester hours, or I guess that can be translated to 37 quarter hours of earned coursework specifically addressing the 8 areas of responsibility. So you'll hear about those 8 areas of responsibility a lot. They're the foundations of what's going to be on this exam, and we'll talk about that a little more in upcoming slides. But let me speak to the NCHES credential, just to give a little bit of clarity. Today's presentation is more focused on CHES, but I want to give you an idea about what is NCHES. So the NCHES is an advanced level practitioner that has met required academic qualifications and has an experience component. So they've worked in the field for a minimum of 5 years. They successfully passed that NCHES exam with some advanced level competencies. Eligibility for NCHES so includes both the academic part and the work experience part. You don't have to have CHES prior to NCHES, but a lot of people do go that route. So you can be NCHES for 5 years, CHES for 5 years, and then be eligible to sit for the NCHES. Or you can demonstrate your experience component and your academic qualifications to be eligible for NCHES. So why CHES certification? Above all, it's quality assurance to your employer, to the public. Certification really establishes a national standard of practice for all health education specialists across the board. So it attests to the knowledge and skills, and you've demonstrated competency by passing, this exam. It also assists employers in identifying qualified health education practitioners. So you've passed the tough national exam and it's voluntary. You've gone out of your way to do this. And you'll see a lot of job postings on our website and board where they are requiring certification or preferring it. So it really does make a difference in job interviews. It's a talking point, and it can help you take a step up there. It also really develops a sense of pride and accomplishment, and it promotes continued professional development, and that's really important. It's a requirement of certification. And a lot of times new professionals are very busy, they have families and other commitments, and they don't put continued education on the front burner. But you can't get out of doing CE when you have this certification. It really keeps you on task, on point in that aspect. So at this point, I'm going to turn you over to our exam coordinator, Tanya Cole, and she will walk you through the eligibility process, through applications, through test day, and all of those details. So Tanya, I am going to pass it over to you.
Hi, welcome everybody. So the CHES exam is currently offered twice a year in April and October over a 10-day window with many different testing times and locations available. So we offer the exam at both a physical testing site, or you can do it remote testing, which is called LRP. Rescheduling options are also available, which are outlined in the exam handbook and on our website. So one thing to understand is that every official transcript submitted with an application or a pre-screen is reviewed on an individual basis. Course titles vary widely from university to university, as does course content. So if the exam coordinator who reviews your transcripts are uncertain about the content of a course that you've taken, she may ask you to provide course descriptions or syllabi. And a tip when doing your application, printing out your descriptions during your application and uploading them to your account could help provide more clarity on what might be an accepted course and what could be excluded. So next is the application or the pre-screen. So you would submit your online application, and then this can be done through our NCHEC portal. And once you've created an online account, applications, you can create an online account, or you can email a hard copy to myself, or you can also fax it. There is an option for a downloadable PDF form on our website. Then the transcripts submitted with the application are reviewed, and if needed, additional documentation is requested. Once 25 or more credits that align with those 8 areas of responsibility are identified, the candidate is contacted with next steps to complete the full exam registration. If an applicant is found ineligible, information on how to obtain additional credits is provided. Applicants are then moved to the candidate stage to begin preparation to sit for the exam. Your exam appointment can then be scheduled within your online portal. Occasionally, applicants are unclear about whether their credentials meet the eligibility requirements, and your degree major may not specifically read health education, but may have accumulated sufficient hours of coursework. NCHEC offers this pre-screening service as a for prospective applicants to determine eligibility before fully applying for the exam. Transcripts are reviewed to determine the eligibility, and then notification through email of the pre-screen outcome will be provided. If ineligible, the course deficiencies will be identified and guidance for qualifications would be provided. There is a $25 non-refundable fee for this service. However, if you are deemed eligible, that $25 fee is applied toward the applicant's registration, the full registration. Right now, the pre-screen is closed, but it will open May 1st. That's when our next cycle opens, and that is going to be for the October 2024 exam cycle. So the pre-screen, again, is often used in place of the regular application if you are in any way unsure of coursework eligibility. In fact, there are benefits to using the pre-screen that you might not be aware of. So you will not need to resubmit an additional application if you are eligible. You would simply log back into your account and then complete the rest of the full application, which is pretty much just confirming what you've already submitted, and then you would just pay, and then you're automatically sent over to the candidate stage, and then you can go choose a testing location. They normally see priority during the review process, so you will most likely receive your results within about 2 weeks or less, whereas the full applications take a little bit longer. If you are not currently eligible, you will learn exactly how many credits you're missing, as well as sample course titles to help you select additional classes that you can pick up these credits online also if you wish. Again, the cost is $25. That $25 will be subtracted off your full application fee if you're found eligible, so you won't end up paying any more than the cost of the original full application. And then the original date that your pre-screen was submitted will be considered your exam application date. So you will not incur any higher exam fees due to the deadline cutoff. So if you send in or submit your pre-screen application in the first early bird deadline, and I don't end up reviewing it until the second deadline, you're still going to get those first deadline fees. So it's when you originally submitted your pre-screen. NCHEC has made an exception for students to sit for the CHES exam before graduation if the student intends to graduate within 90 days of the exam date. You must fulfill the requirements of completing his or her degree within 90 days of the exam and submitting a final official transcript or diploma to NCHEC to reach that active certification status if you do, pass the exam. As well as submitting, you will need to submit an advisor letter validating your full-time status, and that's going to be with your application. So if you're currently a student, you would need to submit that advisor letter with your official transcripts. So in the application process, you're going to create an online account. Once you create your online account, there's going to be a link within your account that says new application. And then you can either choose the CHES full application or the CHES pre-screen application. You're going to enter your first and last name exactly how you would like it on the certificate, but it must also match your first and last name on your government ID. It's your responsibility to notify NCHEC of any of the changes in name, address, or email before taking the exam. Official transcripts reflecting school name, degree, date awarded, and all completed coursework must also be sent in. An application cannot be processed without your official transcripts. If they are sent separately, they should be submitted no later than the final registration deadline, or you could be subject to an incomplete application and possibly increased exam fees or incur an additional fee for the next cycle. And then again, the advisor letter would be required if you are a student. The letter would need to be on school letterhead, have your name, projected graduation date, degree program, and that if you're full or part-time. And all documents must be uploaded to your account or sent to me or my email before we can review your application. So here is our current exam registration. Again, it opens May 1st of this year, which is, within a week. And it also, we have the October cycle, which opens November 1st. And then if you register in that first early bird period, which is going to be May 1st to May 30th or 31st, whichever date it is, and you'll get the lowest price, which is like a $50 discount. Full-time students will also receive a little bit of a discount here too, if you notice. In order to be considered full-time, you would have to be enrolled in 9 or more semester credits at the time that you register for the exam. And then the final exam registration period closes, it's actually February 28th of this year, and then August 31st for the next cycle. And this schedule is also available on our website under the exam section. So applicants who have been determined eligible for the exam will receive an authorization attest letter through email. It will be sent and is necessary to schedule your exam appointment. Remember that the application reviews can take up to a few weeks during really busy times. Ineligible applicants, again, will be notified by email. And if you're found ineligible, your application fee will be refunded minus the non-refundable processing fee. So if you fully register for the exam and don't do the pre-screen and we find you ineligible, you would be refunded minus $100 processing fee. So again, I suggest if you are in any way unsure that you're eligible, just do the pre-screen because that $25 will go towards that full fee. And then you can reapply for the exam in the future should you complete any of the necessary coursework for eligibility. And we also have an appeal policy, so you do have the right to appeal your denial of eligibility. So after you're found eligible and receive your authorization email, you would now schedule your appointment with our testing center, PSI. So candidates are able to schedule. There's a link contained within the authorization to test email, or you can just go to the NCHEC website and log in, and there will be a link on the side of your dashboard that says schedule the exam. NCHEC's website also has some videos detailing what you can expect on test day, whether you choose to go to a test center or do live at home proctoring. So once you are logged in, there's going to be, again, that green button on the side of your dashboard to schedule or reschedule. And then you're strongly encouraged to schedule an exam appointment right away to obtain a preferred test date, time, and location. You don't want to wait till later on when the exam testing window is going to open because appointments come on a first come, first served basis. Should a candidate be unable to schedule an exam within the window, your fees would not be refunded or transferred. So the Helen Cleary Scholarship was established to honor Helen P. Cleary, who was instrumental in establishing the first CHES credential in 1991. The scholarship is only for the CHES exam, and I believe you must be a student. So eligibility criteria must be met, and the scholarship covers the cost of the exam fees and study materials. And the registration schedule for the upcoming scholarship is posted on our website. And Jess, I think it's open till the end of this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's correct for the October exam.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can go on Sophie's website. You can Google Cleary Scholarship. But again, it's only open till the end of this week.
Yeah, you would have to hustle to get your application together, but it's definitely doable. So
Yeah.
if check it out. Okay.
Okay, so CHES and MCHES exam candidates utilize professional secure technology enabled global PSI test centers, which include such benefits as immediate pass-fail scoring, expanded range of testing dates and locations, and 24-hour online scheduling through the candidate portal. Also, a 10-day window to fit your busy schedule. CHES exam candidates Also, NCHES exam candidates now will receive an instant preliminary pass-fail result after your exam is completed, and examinations can be rescheduled if necessary within the same exam window if you need to, but if you would not pass the exam, you would have to wait till the next exam cycle to retest. Applicants choosing to test at a center can search online. Maybe we'll stick this website in the chat to discover what test centers are nearest to them through an easy zip code search tool. And we also have international testing, so it's you can test anywhere. So this video, hopefully we can get this working, will provide an exam candidate an overview of the test center experience, and more information again is offered on our website.
Okay. Let me try and give this a go here. Wait a second.
As the world's leading workforce solutions provider, PSI understands that you're committed to reaching your potential. And whether you're testing remotely or at a PSI test center, we're determined to provide you with a great testing experience along the way. PSI's test center network offers flexible scheduling, convenient locations, and comfortable testing environments in over 120 countries and in all 50 states. If you're a test taker looking to schedule an appointment, or if you need special accommodations during testing, please visit our website or contact your test sponsor for more information. Already have your testing appointment scheduled? Great! Join me for a quick test center tour, and I'll show you what to expect as you prepare to take your test. When you arrive at the test center, you'll check in with a trained and certified test center administrator. Make sure you arrive at least 30 minutes early to allow adequate time for check-in. You'll need to provide valid photo identification and a proof of signature. The administrator may also take your photo or capture a digital fingerprint. To provide a fair and secure testing experience, only approved materials will be allowed in the testing area. No personal items, food, or beverages are permitted. While we recommend you leave these items at home or in your car, we'll have secured storage available if needed. Before entering the testing area, the administrator will ask you to empty your pockets, and some items such as glasses, jewelry, or bulky clothing may also be inspected. Please check with your test sponsor to see if they allow the use of items such as scratch paper, calculators, or reference materials. After the security check, the administrator will escort you to your testing station. Before beginning your test, you'll review a security statement and have the opportunity to take a software tutorial. And don't worry, PSI's testing software is easy to use, even for first-time test takers. During your test, the administrator will regularly walk through the room and monitor the area through video surveillance. An on-screen clock will indicate how much time you have left to finish your test. If at any point you need to take a break or need assistance, quietly exit the testing room to alert the administrator. Most test sponsors do not allow extra time for unscheduled breaks, so please be aware that the test clock may continue to run while you're away. When you return from your break, the administrator will perform the same security processes that were performed before you initially entered the testing area. So, you're at the end of your test. You've checked to make sure you've answered all the questions, clicked the End Test button, and your testing session is now over. Quietly exit the testing area to check out with the administrator. Depending on your test sponsor, you'll either receive a score report at the test center, or you'll receive instructions on how to obtain your score report. That concludes our tour. We wish you much success on your test. If you have any additional concerns about what to expect during testing with PSI, please contact our test taker support team. They're available to you 24/7 through phone, email, or online chat.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, my cat. NCHEC continues to offer live remote proctoring as a test modality through PSI's online remote assessment platform known as PSI Bridge. This option gives candidates 24/7 access, allowing them to test from home with an internet-enabled location. where they must provide a computer with a camera, microphone, and internet connection. It's an easy-to-use platform and allows the same standard security procedures as implemented in PSI's Global Test Center network. PSI Bridge is both Windows and Mac compatible. Candidates must use the Google Chrome browser and perform the systems readiness check before registering for an LRP appointment. One thing to note is that certain software and devices are not bridge supported, so please do the systems check. And there's also a new tutorial exam which checks for background administrative rights. You must have administrative rights in order to test through LRP. So once you have an exam scheduled appointment, there's going to be a link within that appointment that you could do that testing. And then here is going to be a video on the live remote proctoring.
Okay. Do you see that, Tanya?
Welcome to our short test taker experience video, designed to help you take your test with confidence and ease. At PSI, we have years of testing experience, and we've developed secure online proctoring to ensure your test is as fair and stress-free as possible. Before test day, there are some things you need to prepare to ensure your testing experience goes smoothly. Choose somewhere quiet and private, where you won't be disturbed. The area should be well lit and clutter-free. You'll need a desktop or laptop computer with a webcam and microphone. Please check the PSI website for complete hardware and software requirements. Use the online system compatibility check on our website to make sure your computer is suitable. The system compatibility check link is publicly available. You may also use the tutorial test, available to guide you through a testing simulation. On test day, when you are ready to start your test, please go to your test registration platform and refer to the documentation there to log in. You should receive login details when you book your test. You'll be asked to complete these simple steps as part of your check-in process. Test your microphone and webcam. We will check to ensure no prohibited programs are running. Take a photo of yourself and a valid ID to verify your identity. Your photo ID must be government issued and must have a photo. Military IDs are not accepted, and school IDs are generally not recommended. You will be asked to wait for a few minutes while a check-in specialist validates your photos and identity. When checks are complete, you'll be guided through the admissions process according to the rules of your exam. This may include a room scan with your webcam to ensure your testing area is appropriate. Additional room and accessory scans may be needed. When the admissions process is complete, you'll be connected to an online proctor. You should carefully examine the rules of approved artifacts for your exams, as food, drinks, pens, paper, or mobile devices might not be permitted during your test. During your test, our online proctoring team will monitor your session through screen share, webcam, and microphone. This is to ensure your test is fair and going smoothly while protecting your privacy. At the end of your test, the system may indicate if there are any unanswered questions that need reviewing in your test. Then, you'll be asked to confirm you're ready to end the testing session. Depending on the test you're taking, you may get your score immediately, or you may receive information about how to get your score. If you have any questions or concerns, please visit our website or contact our 24/7 customer service team through phone, email, or online chat. We're here to help you succeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Hold on a second
Okay.
here. Get the slide deck up again. Okay. Just going to share my screen again here quick, Tanya. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Clicking around all over the place here. Okay, here we go. Advance.
All right. So I think we're on the next slide.
There we go.
Awesome. The CHES exam is competency-based, which means that the exam is constructed based on the framework document, which identifies the 8 areas of responsibility. Within each area of responsibility, the basic competencies and sub-competencies necessary for health education as specialists have been delineated. These serve as a basis for developing the questions on the exam. CHES exam is 3 hours, offered again live remote proctoring or at a testing center, consists of 165 multiple choice test questions. 150 are scored and 15 are pilot tested that measure the possession, application, and interpretation of knowledge essential to the practice of health ed. The exam content comes in 3 blocks, and we will cover that in the next couple slides. So the study guide is also useful but optional, used by candidates during study and preparation for the certification exam. This companion guide is only available on the NCHEC website. We're currently using the 8th edition companion guide. So the CHES exam is based on a national in-depth job analysis study to identify what skills and tasks are being utilized by health education specialists practicing across the United States. The table outlines the areas of responsibility on the exam and the percent of exam questions that come from each area. The content will change again based on the results HESPA 3 practice analysis study that is taking place currently right now. So this table outlines the areas of responsibility and their percent of exam questions for the NCHES or the master's level certification. So to ensure fairness across CBT and LRP, the CHES and NCHES exams will be administered using a set of standardized security protocols in alignment with the standards recommended by our accrediting body, NCCA. The security policy will affect the exam format and the break policy. So the CHES exam is currently offered in 3 blocks. So block 1 is going to be questions 1 to 83. Block 2 is an optional 10-minute break, and block 3 will contain items 84 to 165. Candidates will be given to take that optional 10-minute break midway through the exam, again, between block 1 and 3 after question 83. If a break is taken, it will require additional security screening before proceeding to complete the 3rd block of the exam. The 10-minute break time is deducted from the total test time. Following the break, CHES and NCHES candidates will gain access to the 3rd block of the exam, and you will not be able to go back and access the 1st block. So after you complete question 83 or before you complete question 83, please make sure that you go back and check what you need to check, because once you go past block 2, you're not going to be able to go back and check that 1st section of questions.
Okay. I'm going to hop back in here and talk a little bit about what happens and what the requirements are after you would pass the examination. So to maintain the credential, after passing, you would need to pay an annual renewal fee of $70 and then also document 75 hours of continuing education within a 5-year period. So the CHES renewal recertification cycle runs on a 5-year cycle. you're able to recertify if the renewal fees are all paid and you've met the continuing education requirements, then you go ahead and recertify at the end of that 5 years. Both CHES and NCHES also need to complete a measurement or evaluation of what's known as continuing competency as part of your requirement. It's built into the 75 credits, but it's either through performance assessment that gets signed by a supervisor or by completing specific continuing education courses that have been pre-approved by us for continuing competency credits. And we have search tools on the website that help you, identify this type of coursework, so that, it doesn't become an issue right at the end of your cycle. If we say if you earn about 15 credits a year, then you really stay on task to recertify. Okay, so let's talk a little more about this continuing education. There are many opportunities to earn continuing education, or CHEC, CECH, and there are 2 major categories that you need to know about. There's Category 1 credits and Category 2 credits. Category 1 credits are offerings that have been pre-approved by NCHEC through what we call designated providers. So it's providers of CE that have partnered with us and submitted, their agendas and have tied it directly to 8 areas of responsibility in advance of the event. There are Category 2 events that you can submit that are not pre-approved by NCHEC. Say you do a work training or attend a local conference. As long as they still align with at least one of the 8 areas of responsibility, you can submit them to us as part of your continuing education requirement. And you can do that through your NCHEC online portal. Now, CHES and NCHES have slightly different continuing education requirements. If you are interested in NCHES, this information is available on our renewal and recertification page on the website. Once you do get certified through NCHEC, you have a lot of resources and networking opportunities available to you. One of these is our platform called NCHEC Online, and it's an online community that connects you with other certified individuals, so other CHES and NCHES that are practicing in health education and health promotion. And you have access to conversations, resources, jobs, professional development opportunities, and all that sort of thing on NCHEC Online. If you just have a question, you can hop on NCHEC Online and post it to other peers and professionals. We also have certified individuals get access to what we call our reimbursement services toolkit. So this was designed for use by CHES and NCHES to assist with getting reimbursed for services. And once certified, you can access and download this toolkit through your CHES NCHES portal. We do have a resources page on the NCHEC website that's open to anybody. I just wanted to mention it here because there are a lot of career resources that might be helpful to you as you prepare to enter into the health education field if you're close to graduation. It also lists current job opportunities and openings from employers who already know about the CHES certification and they prefer or sometimes require certification for a job opening that they have. And we offer tips on how to market yourself in an interview, how to use your credential, different job titles that might help you, doing an online career search and things like that. We also have an employer toolkit if you do employ other professionals. It can help you with promoting job listings and give you sample job descriptions and that sort of thing as well. And then the last thing is we are on social media. We're on a number of platforms. So if you're not already following us, you might want to do so. Especially if you do sit for the exam and get credentialed through us. I frequently list a lot of free continuing education opportunities, all sort of different news about certification and resources and job openings as they arrive. And I think with that, we are ready to, I wanted to mention that this is being recorded we'll make this available to you. I'll put it on our YouTube channel, and on our website we have a webinar section in the resource part of the website, and I'll also send it to you through email as well, so you'll be able to access the recording. I know it was a lot of information in a relatively short amount of time, and you do have a ton of questions. And we're going to dig into those right now. One question, oh wait, you answered that one, Tanya. Okay. Do you need to be a full-time student to take the CHES the same semester you graduate? Or is it okay if you're part-time? This individual has 2 classes or 6 credits left to take in the fall semester to finish their degree.
So if you are using this in the undergraduate, like if you're undergraduate program. So if you are in an undergraduate program and you're in your last semester and you've been full-time the rest of the entire degree and just finishing up those 2 credits, I will accept a full-time student status. So you can use the student fee for that.
Okay, awesome. Here's a good one. What's the passing score for the CHES exam? How does that work?
So the passing score is determined by the difficulty of the exam question. So we don't have technically, we don't know what the passing score is. So it's based again on the difficulty of the exam questions, and it's done through scaled scoring. There's a lot of information on the website about how the scaled scoring is determined. So it's based on your proficiency level. In the back end, you would have to get so many questions right out of 150, and then it's turned into scaled scoring, and we submit that scaled scoring to you.
Okay. That's done.
I can answer probably most.
Yeah,
of
if you
these.
see it, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Can I send my certificate evaluation reports by WES since I studied outside the USA? So if you have international transcripts, yes. As long as you have that, all transcripts needed to be translated into American credits. So you would need to send us that translation, whomever it's from. So if you have it from WES, yes, you would submit those with your application or pre-screen application. But yes, we do look at the WES evaluations. My last class ends this week. If I graduate May 11th, if I apply for the CHES when it opens May 1st, am I still eligible for the student pricing? You sure are. As long as you register for the exam before the day you graduate, I normally will accept the student fee rate. So yes. So this one, my program is designed in trimesters, which are 8 weeks. I have to take 2 courses that equal 6. It disappeared. Did you delete it, Jess?
Here.
Oh,
Can
wait,
you see it? Go into the answered. Yeah.
I see it there.
Sorry.
That's okay. I have 2 classes, 6 credits left in the fall semester to finish my degree, and was planning to take the CHES exam then. So I'm going to have to look at your transcripts to see this. So your transcripts should either be in semester credits or quarter hours. If you're in semester credits, you need to be enrolled in 9 or more semester credits to get the full-time fee. For quarter hours, you need to be enrolled in 12 quarter hours. So I'm just going to have to look at your transcript to really understand how this is given, how your quarter, if it's quarter or semester credits.
There's a question about, there's a couple questions about overseas people, like Canadian, is there a Canadian equivalent to the exam? If someone's in Pakistan, is the certification going to be useful to them? We'll start with the Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah. So the exam is given internationally. It is only given in the English language, so we cannot have it translated. And yes, the certification is being used internationally. We do have quite a few international candidates and CHES certified. It's not a required certification, but it is being used worldwide, 100%.
Yeah, it is. Just keep in mind that it is based on US competencies. So that job analysis study that I talked about earlier, that's for the US only, but a lot of people, you know, take the certification and they go overseas and they're practicing overseas, and it definitely is useful, but just the underlying areas of responsibility are built off US practice. Okay, let's see.
Can you submit more than one transcript for eligibility? Yes,
Yeah.
you can submit. I would suggest submitting most of your transcripts or all of your transcripts. So because we can take credits from any of your official transcripts at the undergraduate level or above. But yes, I would suggest sending them all in just in case. Can non-official transcripts provided by schools virtually be used for pre-screening, or do we need to scan your official transcripts? So we only accept official transcripts. So there's two options. You can a lot of universities send email copies of the transcripts now. So you can always just go through in and request an emailed copy, which is official from the university. Or if you get your hard copy, you would need to scan it and upload it into your account. So either or. I have students sit for the exam in the past without having to provide additional course documentation, but just to double check, the degree offered as a BS in health promotion with a specialization in community health. I can guarantee this program probably covers the 25 credits in health education. An automatic eligible candidate would have a major, like their major would literally say health education or health education and promotion. Health education would be first, but we don't pre-approve programs. Eligibility is based on each individual. So we're looking for the 25 credits in health ed, and just being those concentrations and degree majors, it's just most likely that they're never needed because it's really identified right there within the course title.
Okay, I see one on continuing education credits. I'll take it. Says, can the 75 continuing units be from one category or both categories? And the answer is it's a combination of both. Or category one. So you can get 75 credits in category one, or you can get up to 30 credits in category two. And that's outlined in more detail on our continuing education page on the website. And say you pass the exam, you'll receive a packet of information on us. You'll receive emails from us going very specifically into the continuing education component, how it works and what you need to do to fulfill that. But the answer in very short is you can combine category one and category two credits.
I've already graduated, so would I pay $70 for the exam for CHES? Just a little confused on that question. So the exam registration fees are completely different than the annual renewal fees. Right now, after you become certified and sit for the exam, you would have a $70 annual renewal fee. But no, to pay for the registration, you would have to pay one of those registration fees depending on which application deadline you register in.
Here's one. Do employers want to know the score, or do they want to know that you're certified? In the case of employers, we don't release scores to potential employers or current employers without permission. That score is your, you'll be emailed or mailed that through, I think, USPS. And that's, we don't give that out. But so generally just they want to know that you passed and you have the credential. Recommended textbooks. We outlined that a little earlier in the slideshow was the study guide. But there are, I think you're probably asking about additional resources. We do have a list on the website. If you go to the CHES exam and then studying for the CHES exam, we have a list of suggested readings and textbooks that would be useful to you. I think that's what you're looking for to help prepare students.
I see a couple people have asked about their majors. I cannot determine eligibility through the webinar. You're automatically eligible if you have a health ed degree. Otherwise, your transcripts would need to be reviewed. There's no way. Every program is different. Everybody's courses are different. Again, we don't pre-approve any programs. So if you'd like to determine your eligibility, you would definitely have to do that pre-screen, because I look over every single course. So every transcript is reviewed, every course is reviewed to determine the eligibility. So again, I definitely would suggest doing the pre-screen service.
Okay. There were a few questions about studying for the exam. The main tip would be that study guide, because there's a full-length practice exam in the back of it, and it's also all scored out by area of responsibility. So if you sit down and take that exam and then score it, you'll be able to tell, like, if you're weaker in one area of responsibility that you should focus more studying on, and that sort of thing. We also have a study group page where various universities and organizations do have study courses available, and you can kind of look through those. Some of them, you have to be in a certain geographic location, but some of them are online. And I know that a lot of students or professionals kind of meet up online and do little Zoom study groups as well. So those are being formed a lot online. So we do have some different articles on studying for the exam with some tips from past people who have passed the exam, that sort of thing. So there are a lot of resources. But the biggest tip would be to use the study guide in the way it's intended to be used, by using that exam in the back and scoring yourself and looking for weaknesses and then focusing on that. Okay.
Study exam is located on our website. Easiest place to find it is just go to NCHEC.org, and in the bottom right-hand corner, there's going to be a link that says publications, and you can purchase the study guide right through there. With an MPH, would that be MCHES or CHES? Are the exams the same? The exams are not the same. They're different. The MCHES tests on the advanced level competencies, whereas the CHES tests on the entry level competencies. So in order to be eligible for the MCHES, you would have to have a completed master's degree or above with those credits in health education. Plus, you would also need to have 5 years of documented work experience, specifically in health education. So we do have a pre-screen service for the MCHES, and that's only for the academic portion. So if you're looking to see if your degree is eligible, we can review that. But again, you would also have to have the 5 years of work experience in health ed to be eligible for the MCHES. What if someone has an Associate of Science in Health Ed and a BS in Community Health? Will none of the credits for the associates be considered? They would be, as long as they have been transferred into the undergraduate program. So whatever credits show on the undergraduate transcript is what we would be looking at. So we only will accept, again, any of, we only could accept or will review, excuse me, any credits that have been transferred into the undergraduate program. So if the course titles aren't showing on the undergraduate transcript, I would suggest sending both of the transcripts in, because I can see how many credits were accepted and then go back and kind of see what the course titles were from the actual transcript.
Okay. Here's a question about continuing competency, the 5 continuing competency requirements. So that would be after you get the credential. And we're talking about continuing education requirements. So this person asks, is the 5 credits required in both categories, or can it be completed in 1 or 2? And the answer is yes, it can be either or. You would pick category 1, or you would do the category 2 performance assessment. Again, there'll be more information sent to you if you do become certified. And then Tanya, there was one that I get from time to time where they asked, is there a time frame on how long ago you graduated from undergraduate or master level program? Like if your degree was from, say, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, does that mean
Nope.
you're no longer eligible? Or
No, there is no time frame. So you can submit any transcripts from any time.
Yep.
There is there's no cutoff date.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, there are so many questions asking about specific degrees. So if you're unsure, do that pre-screen. That is the easiest way to get your individual question answered for sure.
For the scholarship, the Sophie Scholarship, you have to be a student. And again, you can look at that on Sophie's website. I think their website is sophe.org, and you can or Google Cleary and Sophie. They have all the application instructions and what's needed on their website.
Tanya, did you answer the one about how soon they get their actual exam score? Maybe the difference between the
Yeah,
pass-fail
so
notification? Yeah. Okay.
so you will get an immediate pass-fail on your computer, and I believe they send you an email. So you'll get it's a preliminary pass fail. So after the exam window closes, our testing vendor does a statistical analysis of all the exam questions and the test takers and how they did, to make sure that there's not like an issue question in there, or 95% of the candidates got this question wrong. So what they'll do is they'll do the statistical analysis, and then after that's completed, you will get your hard copy results in the mail. That usually takes 4 to 6 weeks. I graduated.
Yeah, we might have time for one more.
Oh, okay. Let me just see what we got here.
And everybody, I just put our emails into the chat. If we didn't get to your question today, because there were a lot of questions, please email us and we will get that answered for you. Do you have one last one, Tanya?
Where do I see it? Oh, is there a benefit to doing the pre-screen if your major is health education? If your major degree major says health ed, you do not need to do the pre-screen. You just can do the full application. You'd be automatically eligible, but it has to have that degree major.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Tanya, for hopping on with me today. And again, this should be available. The recording should be available within 1 week and will be emailed to you, or it'll also be on our YouTube channel. So have a great afternoon. Thanks so much, everybody.